Let's go to Jeremy, who's on the line in Narrows, Virginia. Jeremy, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I'm living the dream, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
I'm just wondering how long you think somebody should spend at a company if it doesn't look like they're going to be able to advance in the way they had hoped.
Only as long as it takes you to replace your income somewhere else where there is a ladder.
Is there any way to try and up yourself if it doesn't seem like there's a way to move up currently?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, have you sat down and talked to your leaders and said, hey, I want to know how I can grow in this organization? Can we work together to come up with a growth plan? Because I know that that there's something we all can work on and get better. I'd love to know where I can get better. I would like to know if I do that, would that lead to more responsibility and a greater role, which, of course, obviously could offer greater compensation. Have you had a conversation in that form?
I have tried. Currently, I've got a CDL, and I'm a driver for them, and it just seems like having a CDL with this company, you won't get the opportunity to move up because it's hard for them to find other people to drive their trucks for them.
I got you. So it's really a situation where they don't want you to move up because it's so hard to replace you.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
Well, now wait a second. Is this just the way you talk, or are you saying, yeah, it kind of seems that way, but I'm not 100% sure? Like, how sure are you of this theory?
Well, I mean, it's also kind of a good old boys situation, and I'm not sure that I'm in the good old boys group.
Well, I don't think you are in the good old boys group. If you say you're not sure you're in the group, you're not in the group. So when you've talked to your leadership about it before, what's the response? You said you've kind of had that conversation. Well, what happened?
They just say that right now there's not any opportunities, and then, when something does come up, it kind of gets passed over, even though I have seniority over some of the others. And
yeah, see, that's not a good sign. So it's time for you to start looking elsewhere. What is it that you would love to do? If you snap your fingers today and you get it, what is it?
I honestly don't know, Ken. I'm a new listener. I haven't been listening to you but a couple of weeks now, and I've been racking my brain for that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Let's start
working for the company I work with.
Right, but you have a role in mind that you'd like to be getting at your current company. You keep getting passed over. What's that role? Let's start there.
Honestly, I'd like to be in a leadership position, just, being able to make calls and help mentor people and things like that.
Tell me why. Okay, good. So you like mentoring people. What else would be appealing to you about a leadership position?
The flexibility, the knowing more people and getting to deal with people on a different level, higher up people, and just eventually moving up.
Okay, good. What do you make right now, and what would you like to would you like to move up financially? How much more? Tell me what your real desires are. What do you make right now?
Last year I made $37,000 with overtime.
Okay, great. And what would you like to get to?
I'd like to be up in the mid-50s or 60s at least. Okay.
Have you started doing research in your area for management, leadership roles that pay $55 to $60,000?
I have. There's not a whole lot in my area. I'm actually in a pretty small area. I mean, I've got some bigger ones around me. I've actually started, since I was listening to you, I've actually started looking at those, an hour plus drive away.
All right. Now, are you locked in? If you get a job an hour plus way, do you have to live where you're living, or do you have some flexibility financially to be able to maybe sell in Narrows and get closer to that work?
It would be tough. I would probably have to commute for a while.
Okay, but would it be worth it?
Yeah, hopefully in the long run. I mean, I've got a wife and two children I take care of, so if I can make more money and, had to be gone for a few days a week, I can do it.
Well, who says you got to be gone 2 days a week? It may just be you have to get up really early, and it's less time at the house with them during the week, but you're making more money and you're making progress, and we sell that house in Narrows, right? Everything gets better when we start making more money and we start making progress, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so the point is, it is worth it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing it for the rest of your life. I would never suggest that you, for 15, 20, 30 years, drive 2 hours round trip. But the reality is you live in a small area, and so you're somewhat limited, right? So, so the question becomes, what qualifications do you need, Jeremy, to be able to get looked at and potentially get hired in some type of a management role? You have to begin that process right now. So here's your homework. What you need to do right now is begin to look at more of those jobs, even though they're an hour away, and you need to narrow them down and go, okay, I've got the raw talent and skills and the strengths to be able to do this. Now, do I need some additional qualification? Okay, how could I get that qualification? Is it taking on a side job in Narrows, and bringing a little more money? We're going to hustle for a little bit. This is the tough part of the journey when we're looking at transition and getting trained and putting the time in and paying the dues to be able to reap the benefit of working on purpose. And so after you look at qualifications, how do you get the qualifications? How much time is that going to take? How much is it going to cost you? Now you got a plan, Jeremy. You're not wandering around waiting for the good old boy network to tap you on the shoulder, because I got news for you. They're probably not. It hasn't happened yet. Probably not going to happen. Okay. So when you're driving that truck, you got a lot of time in that car to be thinking and learning. Okay. So what do you need to be learning? Can you learn it on a podcast? What calls can you make when you're in the truck? How much, what can you do? And you begin to make connections. Once you have ideas and specific areas where you'd like to work, make connections, go up there on the weekend, work on the weekends if you have to. You're going to sacrifice some time anyway from your family to get where you want to be. Then, again, those are the things you need to be doing. And when you do that, Jeremy, here's what's going to happen. You are going to see opportunity coming your way. What I just described to you is the proximity principle. In order to do what you want to do, Jeremy, you've got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. Just practice proximity. Make connections. It's not networking. We're talking about one-to-one connecting. Opportunities will come your way.